Welcome in, everybody, yet again to another episode of Titans Tube. My name's Justin, and of course, this is Jake with me here, and we are going to be previewing the Week 6 matchup. Almost got ahead of myself.
Nice.
I feel like I always mess that part up. It's like week. No,
what week are we in? Yeah,
Uh,
with all these games shuffling around, who knows what week it is?
Yeah,
man.
seriously, you're going to start shuffling weeks around. So the Titans are going to be hosting the 1-4 Houston Texans on Sunday, noon kickoff. Texans coming into this game off of their first victory of the season last week, handling the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty easily. 30-14, I believe, was the final score of that game. Texans, bad start to the season, fired your coach, but I mean, they came out and looked pretty good against Jacksonville. Sure, it's Jacksonville, but hey, they still looked good. Deshaun Watson lit it up. And they're going to be coming into this game and looking at it like, hey, we have an opportunity to go 2-0 in the division, get to 2-4, and maybe we can salvage something. Maybe we can get something out of this season still. And with those rough first few games, having to face Kansas City and Baltimore, I mean, hey, could be some tough sledding. I think they might be a little better than what that record might indicate. So this could be a competitive game, I think. So as we get started here. Breaking it down, the last matchup, briefly, real quick. We all remember how fun of a game that was last year. Derrick Henry running rampant. A.J. Brown making that unbelievable catch, deep pass on the sideline, the toe drag, as Nate Burleson says, toe drag swag. A.J. Brown. That's where Henry cashed in on the rushing title. We earned a playoff berth. As the final wild card team, and we all know what happened from there. Derrick Henry just kept running the next 2 games. The playoffs. So, that was a great last matchup. But a big time difference in this Texans team. Most notably, not the same head coach as of last week or 2 weeks ago, and even probably definitely more importantly, their best receiver, one of the best in the game, DeAndre Hopkins, is no longer a problem. We do not have to worry about covering this guy. Thank
God. Oh, yeah. Jinx, show me. Well, Titans fans will forever be in debt to Bill O'Brien for shipping DeAndre Hopkins out of Houston. Thank you, sir. You may have lost your job over it, but thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, that was a big favor. What he did to that roster is it's crazy. It's mind-boggling. Jadeveon Clowney, hey, that's another ex-Texans that's now with us now. He made a pit stop in Seattle, but maybe we can get some revenge game action. Maybe we can get that first sack for Clowney.
That would be great.
So right now it's going to be Romeo Crennel, been around the league for ages. I think he's like 73 years old. I remember when he was a head coach at Cleveland, and then he just keeps sticking around as a defensive coordinator guy. So very experienced head coach. I'm assuming the players are definitely down to rally around him. So he's what we're going to be going up against here, Jake. So as we get started here, we'll break down our matchup here. We'll start with our passing Titans offense against the Texans pass defense. How are we looking in that category, Jake?
I'll tell you how we're looking, Justin. The Titans are currently very middle of the pack in passing offense at 245 yards a game. That puts them at 17th in the league, whereas Houston's pass defense is ranked 8th in yards per game, which seems pretty good. Yeah. It's kind of a deceiving stat line because Houston also allows among the highest completion percentage in the league and some of the best QBRs in the league so far. And Tannehill thrives in both of those statistical categories. So this might be a more favorable matchup than just, looking at the black and white picture of yards per game. I will say, you alluded to it earlier, Justin, but they faced a murderer's row of QBs and, Mahomes, Lamar, Big Ben, and, you can throw Kirk Cousins in there if you want to. They got on track with Minshew last week, but again, it's the Jags. So how realistically can we take that? But anyways, they're led at corner with former first-round pick Vernon Hargraves and Bradley Roby on the other side. And then they have Justin Reed and Eric Murray anchoring the defense at safety. On the other side of the ball, the Titans offense is obviously, we have A.J. Brown back, thank goodness. He was a huge piece in the game against Buffalo. for this passing game. And Adam Humphries comes off the COVID list for this game. Cam Batson, for all the Cam Batson fans out there. But still no Corey Davis yet. We probably will not see him until Pittsburgh at least. So, Justin, do you expect Tannehill to come out and continue this great start to the season and be efficient and, continue to cash in on the stats that Houston is susceptible to giving up in, high completion percentage, QBR? So do you see Tannehill continuing success?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of am. I'm kind of looking for the whole offense to have success because I think, we'll get to their run defense here in a bit, but their run defense isn't that good, and I think that's going to open up things. We know how dangerous Tannehill is in the play action game. Getting Humphries back is going to be huge. I think Cam Batson will definitely see playing time. He was definitely starting to find himself a role here on this receiving depth chart. So that's going to be huge. And, of course, we got the breakout season star, Jonnu Smith at tight end, and the Ferks down, Anthony Ferkser.
Hashtag Ferks down.
Hashtag Ferks down. I'm looking for some of those on Sunday. So really, just without Corey Davis, our pass offense is nearing full strength right now. And Tannehill's on a roll. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking for Tannehill to continue dealing some damage.
I love it. Yeah, give us that check mark. We'll take the advantage there. Maybe a slight one, but, we'll take it.
A slight one. Pass protection is going to be huge. Tannehill's only been sacked 4 times this year, which is great. But, of course, going up against J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, guys like that, pretty stellar pass rushers. So that's going to be a big thing, too, to keep Tannehill standing upright, delivering those passes. So, advantage, as you said. I think we got this one.
Perfect. Ding.
Ding, ding.
I'll kick it back to you, Justin, for the Titans rushing offense versus this Texans front seven.
I would love to do that because that means I get to talk about Derrick Henry. So the Titans are 9th right now overall in rush yards per game at 131 yards per game. But it seemed like they still were kind of held in check, though, against Buffalo for sure. I mean, Derrick Henry had 3 yards per carry, 57 yards, did knock in those 2 touchdown runs. I think Tannehill, that was his best rushing game on his scrambles. He got 3 yards and a touchdown himself. So hopefully the running game can get more on track. And, man, it's about time. I think Derrick Henry's longest run of the season is 16 yards. Let's get a new season-long run. I'm ready to
pump it up.
Yeah, I'm ready to see some bigger pop plays from the ground game. I think they're due, and I think this is a great opportunity at home against a weak Texans rush defense coming in at 31st in the NFL and getting up 160 run yards per game. And of course that's going to happen. They played Dalvin Cook. They played Baltimore. They played a lot of these teams that are gonna gash you on the ground. But still, second to last place in rushing. I think we can continue that trend with Derrick Henry and this offensive line. But again, a few other key names. I mean, they've had a pretty consistent group there, especially on the front seven. I do know that it's going to help us, and I don't want to forget to mention this. Bernardrick McKinney went on IR, and that's a big loss for him, a very solid linebacker. So we won't have to worry about him, but I think that's the biggest injury news that we have to worry about as far as important players they'll be missing. But they still got J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, as I mentioned, and Zach Cunningham, local boy from Vanderbilt University, is turning out to be a big-time leader on that defense. I think he leads their team in tackles. Could be wrong about that, or maybe he led the team in tackles last year. But a quality linebacker there. And then just reading through my notes here. We said he needed a 100-yard game last week. Do you think he needs one this week to get the victory? I think there's a few different ways we can beat Houston, but I could definitely see Henry getting back into over that 100-yard mark in this game.
For sure. And, this is something we could say every single week. It's going to be true. Every single week, bring up the stat that the Titans are undefeated when Derrick Henry is over 100 yards. We could say it till we're blue in the face, but I think the 100-yard game is exactly what the doctor is going to order this week for the Titans. With a good established run game, especially we know it with Derrick Henry, we can so methodically drive down the field and take time off the clock, and that keeps Deshaun Watson on the sideline. And that's going to be a big factor in this game. So I think the 100-yard game is the perfect prescription to get Derrick Henry going. And Doc, let's write it up. Let's give it to him. He'll go to the pharmacy and cash in that 100-yard game. Justin, I think I give us the edge over the Texans rush defense.
Agreed. Write us up a prescription of that green check mark. Let's go ahead and move on to the other side of the ball. Titans pass defense versus the Texans pass offense, and that quarterback back there, Deshaun Watson. Jake, how are we looking in that matchup?
Yeah, totally. So coming into this one, the Titans not looking great on the back end. I mean, there's a lot of things we've already talked about, in past videos with this passing defense. But Titans come into this one 23rd in overall pass defense, and then Houston comes in sporting a top 10 passing attack in yards per game. Obviously no more DeAndre Hopkins for this one, but Houston's still very dangerous. I mean, don't get me wrong. They still have the stable of, Kenny Stills, Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller. They can definitely beat us deep, and Deshaun Watson has done nothing but beat us deep in his career. So, don't let the big name leaving the Houston Texans deceive you into thinking, oh, we've got this handled. The Titans do get Christian Fulton back for this game from the COVID list, which helps a ton. Especially, we were so thin going up against Buffalo. Still no Adoree Jackson. He's going to be on IR another week or two. Who knows when we're going to get Adoree back? But this Titans secondary had a pretty good showing against Josh Allen last week. I thought Malcolm Butler played a great game. Jonathan Joseph, I feel like, did enough. And that's kind of what we need from him.
I forgot about him. Another ex-Texan. 2 ex-Texans now going up on defense against these guys.
Definite revenge game. And I think the pass rush for the Titans is going to be a big one. Can the Titans generate a pass rush? We will see. Big Jeff is coming back. That's more of a front seven argument, but still could be effective in disrupting the pass game. Deshaun Watson is still Deshaun Watson, though, Justin. So I think I'm leaning toward giving Houston the edge here. Do you agree with that?
I would definitely give them the edge here. These receivers, like you said, can definitely give us some problems. Will Fuller always kills us, it seems like, too. If it's not DeAndre Hopkins, I thought I said Deshaun. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, that's his name. D-Hop.
All good.
Let's roll with that.
There you go.
And, Will Fuller, man, it feels like both of these guys go for over 100 yards and get each a touchdown grab themselves every time they play. So he's been a problem for us historically. Brandon Cooks, been a great speedy deep threat receiver in this league for a while now. So it's a good thing we're getting Fulton back, and this would be a great time to have Adoree Jackson because he's our speedy cover corner. So I think, I think this is where we can struggle. I think this is where Houston can really do some damage and keep themselves in this ball game. So I agree. I think they get the advantage here.
I'm going to kick it back to you, Justin, for this Titans run defense, who had a good showing last week, for maybe the first time in the year against Devin Singletary and the Bills, against the Texans run offense. Take it away.
Yeah, and Josh Allen too didn't get a whole lot of anything going on the ground too, and that's one of his key components of his game. But Deshaun Watson going to be a much better or much faster athlete than Josh Allen, so he could be possibly a lot harder to contain. But numbers wise, it's just a weakness against weakness, and they're just kind of. I don't know. We're going to see when push comes to shove, who gives.
Yeah.
The Texans are coming in 30th in rush offense in terms of yards per game. Titans 27th in rush after that great game last week. We're still at 27. We're still at the bottom of the league in rush defense. But man, last week 2.3 yards per game to Devin Singletary. Pretty impressive. And this is all, like you said earlier, without big Jeff Simmons, and getting him back is going to be huge. A big addition for the Texans that kind of happened with the whole DeAndre Hopkins thing is David Johnson is now their lead back, and he's been doing he's been decent. He had a splash start to the year, and then now he's kind of cooled down. a bit now. But he's a dual threat back too. He's definitely an effective receiver out of the backfield, so he can hurt you in a lot of ways if you're not ready for him. But I think the biggest thing here, especially with the ground game, is making sure we keep Deshaun Watson contained as well. I mean, if we're going to get gashed by one of their running backs, we can't allow the quarterback to also pick up yards on runs too. Whenever, if our secondary has their moments and is containing the receivers in coverage, we can't let Deshaun Watson just sit back there and bake a cake like Josh Allen did on one of his touchdown throws. I think he was back there for forever. So that can definitely hurt us. I'm not sure how well Houston's offensive line stacks up against the Bills. I feel like the Bills would have the better offensive line just because they're generally they are more productive on the ground and are good with protection for Josh Allen. So we'll see how much more success or less success we can have against this offensive line. But containing Deshaun Watson, keeping him in the pocket, don't let him get around the edge to scramble. And I think Duke Johnson Jr., they have two D Johnsons in the backfield too. He's another speedy back that can complement that offense well through the air and on the ground. So they got some playmakers there. They can do some damage. And I think with our lackluster pass rush up into the Bills game, hopefully that doesn't show its head again. But I think when you look at the season as a whole, you can't just pick out the Bills game and ignore everything else, like the Dalvin Cook and James Robinson running all over us. I would give it a push. I would give it a push with one struggling and the other also struggling. It's just going to be a struggle fest. So I don't know what to make and what we're going to see and who's going to come out on top in that category. But we'll call it an even tie, even push.
I'd agree with that. You said it. I think containing Deshaun Watson's ability to escape the pocket and scramble is going to be a huge thing in this game. I mean, the Titans were horrendous on third down against the Buffalo Bills, and I could see Watson killing us with scrambles, especially on third and short, third and manageable kind of situation. So, it's definitely a struggle bus in this matchup. So, I'll give it a push.
All right. And lastly, of course, we got to talk about special teams. That can always be a big factor, Jake. What are we looking at? Who do the Texans have kicking for them?
Trotting out Kaimi Fairbairn, no stranger to the Houston Texans. He's been there for a minute. We kind of know him to be the kicker there. He's consistent. He's pretty good. Then they have Brian Anger to punt the football. But the revival of Stephen Gostkowski and the hero arc that we have seen from him, combined with Brett Kern just staying on an all-pro trajectory as a punter. And the Titans special teams has played great. We said it in the recap for Buffalo. Chris Milton was a huge player, and the Titans special teams have been kind of firing on all cylinders as far as kick and punt coverage goes. I'd have to give the edge to the Titans. It might be a slight little bias to get us an extra check mark, but Gostkowski's hero arc is to not be denied. So I love it. Give us the check mark.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, if we're getting into the details of punt coverages, like really all we're seeing is what the Titans are doing. We don't watch the full games of the Texans or our opponents. I don't know how good the Texans punt coverage is. And the Titans punt cover or kickoff coverage forced a fumble. That was one of our turnovers too. So obviously we're looking pretty good on the special teams front. So definitely agree with you on that advantage check mark. Man, I feel like this went pretty fast. We're already at the end. We are at our predictions and keys to the game segment, Jake. Do you want to lead us off for this one, or should I go?
I'll take it.
Do it.
I'll name a few keys to the game. Obviously, the Derrick Henry over 100 yards. That was my prescription for this week.
Yes.
So we'll go with that. And then also, I think it comes down to containing Deshaun Watson, making sure he doesn't have more than 40, 50 yards rushing. He is very elusive, and we saw Josh Allen be elusive a little bit on Tuesday night, which I think could be a big problem. And I just think it's go in and handle your business against a team that you should beat and you should be favored in coming into this game, right? The Texans are 1-4. They fired Bill O'Brien. They're kind of in, their roster is in shambles. This is one the Titans have to go in and take care of business and get to 5-0. Wow. Imagine saying that.
Yeah.
So I just think we really got to take care of business at home here, get that division win. And yeah, I'm going to take the Titans to win in this one. And my score prediction will be, I'm going to keep them over 30 points because that's been a trend thus far this season. I'll put the Titans at 34, Houston 21.
Okay. Pretty decent 2-possession game, margin of victory there. I like it. Yeah, I mean, it sounds boring. It sounds cliche, but I think one of the biggest reasons we're 4-0 is that we have one of the best turnover differentials in the league. And if we continue taking care of the ball, not hurting ourselves, even if we don't get a turnover, I still like our chances as long as we don't turn the ball over ourselves. If we come out even, I think that's okay. But if we win the turnover battle, I think that definitely will lead to a Titans win. Man, I could see this being a high-scoring game. Because I could definitely see a scenario where our pass defense kind of lets up some big plays. Hopefully Kevin Byard can lock it down. I would like to see Kevin Byard make a splash play.
We're waiting on it. Been waiting on
the ball, yeah, or maybe on a blitz, come around the edge, unsuspecting Watson strip sack or something. Make a big time splash play from our All-Pro safety back there. Hopefully our guys don't get beat deep by these speedy receivers. But I like our offense hitting over 30 points again. I'll give the Texans a few more points though. I'll say Titans 31, Texans 27. Little 4-point nail biter there.
Close game.
Yeah, it comes down to just don't beat yourself. Try to win the turnover battle and still limit those penalties. It's going to be tough coming on a short week. This is like a Thursday night game for us. After 4 days, just 4 days ago, we would have played the Bills. So, yeah, hopefully we don't, come out playing sloppy and look tired or anything like that. So I think Henry did come out and say, he's like, man, I feel great. I'm ready to go. I could play a game today if we had one. So I was like, okay, hopefully he's not just saying that to make fans feel better.
But doing too many arm curls, he also said
him.
About the stiff arm. Classic. All right, Justin, is that going to just about wrap it up?
I guess so. Yeah, well, I think we hit everything. I appreciate you dealing with me. As you can see, people, I'm not at my usual location. I'm actually in Knoxville right now. Good old Rocky Top. I'm not here to watch the Vols game. I'm just doing a little road trip here. But we're going to try to do our recap on Sunday at the regular time. I'm just not sure where I'm going to be exactly and if I'll have service to do that recap. If not, hopefully Jake is able to do it. Hopefully you're able to find maybe a guest to talk through the game with you, or go at it solo. If you,
we might go live.
Dare.
F it, we'll do it live.
F it, we'll do it live, dude. Yeah, I feel like that's got to be the best way to do it because it's like right away. It's like right after the game, so that's when people are like coming in fresh and can get the most traction. So
for sure, maybe I'll figure out how to do YouTube Live. We'll see. Stay tuned.
I think it's literally like a click button. I think you just like
perfect. That would be great. That would be great.
They dumb it down. It's pretty easy.
If anybody in the comments of this video wants to let me know how to do YouTube Live, I would love a step-by-step tutorial so I can talk and word vomit at you on Sunday.
We're booming. Are we boomers? We don't even know how to work this crazy.
I need my readers on to figure out how to go live.
Yes. Yeah, we'll figure it out though. It's going to be kind of a weird week with the recap. So I guess it's going to do it, Jake. I guess we're gonna wrap it up here.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, everybody. Tighten up. Let's get this division win. Let's keep stacking those division wins, and hey, we could take firm control of this division. Within 6-7 weeks if we keep winning and stacking these dubs. So
yeah, if we
credit
win,
to Vrabel and the boys. Yeah, go for it.
If we win and the Colts drop a game to the Browns, which they very well could, we're already 3 games ahead in the division.
Colts have the Bengals this week.
Oh no, they lost to the Browns last week. Oh,
they dropped the game last week. Yeah. Hey, let's get the Colts to drop another game this week, and let's just widen that gap even a little more, and do it. And knocking Houston in the dirt even more so, I think, is only going to help us, because we've seen scenarios in the past where Houston is down early in the season and they make an incredible run to end it.
Hey, they're playing for their season. I think they're playing for their season in this game, so they're going to lay it all out there on the line in this game. So it'll be a tough test for us for sure.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Can't take this Houston team lightly, no matter what their record is. But anyways, like I said, tighten up. Let's get this win. Justin, do you have anything to take us to the barn?
I just want to reiterate, tighten up. That's what it's about. What a season so far. Man, COVID, please stop spreading. I think there's more cases either yesterday or today. It's like, man, I feel like we're inching close to a season delay or season shutdown or something. I hope that doesn't happen, because we're looking so good, Jake. We're looking so good on the football field. I love this team.
For sure.
But anyway, yeah, that'll be it. You guys have a good one.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the deal. Have a good one, y'all.